Good day! Welcome again to our class. Today, we will be discussing another topic in English 9 for quarter 1. We will discuss conditionals expressing arguments in both oral conversations and in written outputs. But before that, I will give you the answer of our assessment that we had in our previous lesson. How was your score? Have you got a perfect score? Good job! Now, let's move on to another topic. This is our learning objectives for today's lesson.
At the end of this lesson, you are expected to identify the structures of the 0 to 3rd type conditional in English, categorize the conditional sentences according to its type, give arguments to specific situations that will match the conditional state, sort and match the key vocabulary, clauses, structures, and information in short and simple texts in conditional sentences, and write a short essay using conditional in expressing arguments.
Now, I want you to look closely at the picture flash before you. Try to give a short explanation or definition of what each picture is trying to tell or portray to come up with an argument. Let me give you an example. Here is the scenario. If I drink coffee tonight, I don't sleep well. The definition of this statement or explanation would be: caffeine is one of the major ingredients in coffee. Caffeine has been called the most popular drug in the world. Because caffeine is a stimulant, most people use it after waking up in the morning or to remain alert during the day. While it is important to note that caffeine cannot replace sleep, it can temporarily make us feel more alert by blocking sleep-inducing chemicals in the brain and increasing adrenaline production. Now it's your turn. If you'll study, then you'll pass. Your definition is? Nice answer. We might have the same answer or definition or explanation of this statement, that one way to pass is to study. The lessons that you could find difficult to cope with could be understood and learned by studying them in order to pass during exams and could probably be promoted to the next grade. Try this another picture. If someone is a mother, then they're female. Your explanation or definition is? Nice answer. Your explanation might be: a mother is a female since female individuals have the capability to bear a child for 9 months in their womb. So, if someone is a mother, then she is a female. How about this last picture? If you didn't pass, you couldn't have studied. Your explanation or definition is: Well said! This could be your explanation or definition of this statement. The reason why you didn't pass is that you did not study your lesson very well. Very good! What you just did was expressing your thoughts based off your own arguments through the pictures and statements that were presented to you. We will learn more about these arguments and how to know the different structures as we will move on to the different activities that we will be having later. Are you ready? Let's go! Conditional sentences are sentences expressing factual implications or hypothetical situations and their consequences. When we say factual implications, these are based on facts that support your statement that makes your argument strong. For example, if I take coffee tonight, I don't sleep. The factual implication there is that coffee contains caffeine that could make someone to be alert when taking it. And when we say hypothetical situation or consequences, these are based on your guesses or possible outcomes of a condition. For example, if you study, then you'll pass, with the condition that if you study, it can be presumed that you can probably pass. The usual consequence of a studious student is to pass his or her exam or study. They are called conditional sentences because the validity of the main clause of the sentence is conditional on the existence of certain circumstances which may be expressed in a dependent clause or may be understood from the context. Just a review, main clause has a subject and a verb that can stand alone or has a complete thought, while dependent clause has a subject and a verb but cannot stand alone or doesn't have a complete thought.
Try to look at the example. If you study, then you'll pass. The validity of our main clause, then you'll pass, is conditional to the circumstance if you study, which is our dependent clause.
Note that a full conditional sentence, one that expresses the condition as well as its consequences, therefore contains two clauses, which are the main clause and the dependent clause. The dependent clause expressing the condition called the protasis, and the main clause expressing the consequence called the apodosis. Example of this sentence is,
If it rains, the picnic will be cancelled. So our dependent clause here, which expresses the condition if it rains, is called protasis, and the main clause or the independent clause, which expresses the consequence if the picnic will be cancelled, is called the apodosis. Again, the dependent clause expresses the condition that is called protasis, and the independent clause or the main clause that expresses the consequence is called apodosis. Conditionals are typical sentences of the form if and then, wherein the clause that follows if is the antecedent and the clause that follows then is the consequent. These conditionals or sentences state necessary and sufficient conditions. When we say sufficient and necessary condition, consider example 1. If someone is a mother, then they're female. The antecedent, if someone is a mother, is enough condition, and the consequent, then they're female. And the consequent then they're female is a necessary condition on the antecedent if someone is a mother. But it is not always like that. For consider example 2. If you study, then you'll pass. The antecedent if you study is enough condition on the consequent then you'll pass. And the consequent then you'll pass is not clear as necessary condition on the antecedent if you study because passing is odd to be a necessary condition for studying.
In English language teaching, conditional sentences are often classified under the headings zero conditional, first conditional or conditional 1, second conditional or conditional 2, third conditional or conditional 3.
Let's try the structure of zero conditional. These are conditional sentences expressing simple implication. Both clauses can use present tense. Example, if you don't eat for a long time, you become hungry. We have here the condition if you don't eat for a long time, which uses present tense, and the consequence you become hungry that uses present tense also. And note, such sentences can be formulated with a variety of tenses and moods. Let's try the first conditional type. These are predictive conditional sentences. The condition is expressed in present tense and the consequence is in future tense. Example, if you make a mistake, someone will let you know. The condition if you make a mistake uses present tense and the consequence someone will let you know is using the future tense. We have here another example. If I do it so fast, I will not make a good output. The condition if I do it so fast uses present tense and the consequence I will not make a good output is using future tense. Let's have the second conditional type. These are hypothetical counterfactual situations in a present or future time frame. The condition clause uses the past subjunctive and the consequence is in conditional mood using would or in the first person and rarely should. We have here the form or the structure if plus past subjunctive plus would plus first form or main form of the verb. Example, if I were hungry, I would not tell you. We have here the condition if I were hungry, which is using past subjunctive, and the consequence I would not tell you uses would plus main form or first form of the verb. Another example, if I were you, I would study politics. The condition if I were you uses past subjunctive and the consequence I would study politics is using would plus first form of the verb. There is also another structure for second conditional type. Compound past subjunctive where plus infinitive. That is to write or express if plus compound past subjunctive plus would plus first form of the verb or infinitive. Example, if it were to rain tomorrow, I would dance in the street. The condition if it were to rain tomorrow uses compound past subjunctive that's were plus infinitive to rain. And the consequence I would dance in the street is using would plus first form of the verb. Another example, if he were to buy a gadget, it would be a laptop for his online class. The condition if he were to buy a gadget using or uses compound past subjunctive where plus infinitive where to buy. And the consequence, it would be a laptop for his online class using or uses would. Let's have the third conditional. It refers to the hypothetical counterfactual situations in the past. The condition clause is in the past subjunctive form of the present perfect or simply the past perfect tense, and the consequence is expressed using the conditional perfect. We have here the structure if plus had plus would have plus a third form of the verb or the past participle. Example, if you had called me, I would have come. The condition if you had called me uses the past perfect tense, and the consequence I would have come uses the conditional perfect. We have here another example. I might have fallen if I hadn't listened to you. The condition if I hadn't listened to you uses the past perfect, and the consequence I might have fallen uses conditional perfect. Note that in this example, our condition follows our consequence. So it could also be expressed in this way.
Let us practice. This time, we will have 15 different situations with different structures of conditional. Direction: categorize the following statements according to their conditional type. Write if the statement is zero conditional type, first conditional type, second conditional type, or third conditional type. Column A is the sample statement, and column B is your best answer. Number 1 is a done for you. My mom comforted me when I got scared. The answer is zero conditional type. Why? Because the conditional sentence expresses a simple implication, and the clauses use both past tense, wherein the conditional when I got scared is in past tense, and the consequence my mom comforted me is in past tense. Are you ready? Here we go. Number 2. If you heat ice, it melts. What is your answer? You are correct. It's zero conditional type. The conditional sentence expresses a simple implication, and the clauses use both present tense. We have here the condition if you heat ice, which uses present tense, and the consequence it melts is in present tense also. Very good. Number 3. If I had won the lottery, I would have bought a car. Your answer is very good. You are correct. It's third conditional type. The condition clause is in past tense, had won, and the consequence is expressed using the conditional perfect, would have bought. Number 4. If I won the lottery, I would buy a car. What is your answer? Very good. Zero conditional type. The condition clause, if I won the lottery, is in past tense, and the consequence, I would buy a car, is expressed using the conditional mood in.
Number 5. If I win the lottery, I will buy a car. What is your answer? Good job! It's first conditional type because the condition if I win, it is expressed in present tense and the consequence I will buy a car is in future tense. Number 6. If I see her, I will tell her. Your answer is very good. It's first conditional type because the condition if I see her is expressed in present tense and the consequence I will tell her is in future tense. Number 7. If I get paid today, I will go shopping. What is your answer? Good job! It's first conditional type. The condition if I get paid today is expressed in present tense and the consequence I will go shopping is in future tense. Number 8. If I had known how you were going to react, I would have kept my mouth shut. What is your answer? Very good. It's third conditional type because the condition if I had known how you were going to react is expressed in past subjunctive form of the present perfect or past perfect tense and the consequence I would have kept my mouth shut is in conditional perfect. Number 9. When I did my homework, my teacher was happy. Your answer is good job! It's zero conditional type. The condition when I did my homework is expressed in past tense and the consequence my teacher was happy is in past tense too. Number 10. We might have crossed paths if I had left the house on time. Your answer is good job! It's third conditional type because the condition if I had left the house on time is expressed in past subjunctive form or past perfect tense and the consequence we might have crossed paths is in conditional perfect. Number 11. If the temperature reaches 0 degrees Celsius, water freezes. Your answer is yes, you're very good. Zero conditional type. Because the condition if the temperature reaches 0 degrees Celsius is expressed in present tense and the consequence water freezes is in present tense too. 12. They can do it if they try. What is your answer? Very good. It's zero conditional type because the condition if they try is expressed in present tense and the consequence they can do it is in present tense. 13. If I were rich, I would travel the world. What is your answer? Good job! It's second conditional type because the condition if I were rich is expressed in past subjunctive and the consequence I would travel the world is in conditional mood. 14. He should get a dog if she is lonely. Your answer is good job! It's zero conditional type. The condition if she is lonely is expressed in present tense and the consequence he should get a dog is in conditional mood. Last one. If you mix red and yellow, you get orange. Your answer is very good. It's zero conditional type. The condition "if you mix red and yellow" is expressed in present tense, and the consequence "you get orange" is in present tense. Did you get all the correct answers? Well, if yes, good job. If not, you can always use this for reviewing more or check. Still, we have different activities for you to deepen and learn more about this topic. Do not worry. Let's try this activity. Direction: complete the statements by giving your arguments or ideas in the following conditional statements. Are you ready? Let's start. Number 1. Complete the statement, "I'd feel very angry if..." Your answer would be, "I'd feel very angry if you messed up with me." You can have your own answer too. Your answer here varies. Number 2. Complete the statement, "If I didn't pass the exam..." Sample answer is, "If I didn't pass the exam, I couldn't have studied." 3. Complete the statement, "Would you bunk classes if..." Here is the sample answer. Would you bunk classes if you were not feeling well? 4. They'd be much happier if... Here is the sample answer. They'd be much happier if you would come. 5. Complete the statement, "Would you mind if..." Here is the sample answer. Would you mind if I were to ask you about something personal? 6. Complete the statement, "Could you wait if..." The sample answer, "Could you wait if I asked you to..." 7. You could catch a cold if... Sample answer, you could catch a cold if you were not to follow the safety protocol. How was this activity? By the way, you did a good job. Keep learning.
This time, let's assess your learning. Assessment 1. Read the following statements and determine what conditional text type is being used. Write 0 for zero conditional, 1 for first conditional, 2 for second conditional, and 3 for third conditional. For Assessment B, compose a 2-paragraph recommendation on what people can do to lessen, if not stop, the spread of the COVID-19. You may include present practices that you have observed among people that are not helpful to lessen the spread of the virus. Make the title of your paragraph. Write your paragraph in a separate sheet of paper. Here is the rubric for your guide. Thank you for watching. Keep learning, okay? See you in our next class. Bye!